Hey guys, we're doing a showdown today, and we are looking at 5 different Mega Man figures. So we're looking at the Jada toys, the Sentinel Nell, we have the MDLX, which just came out a little bit ago, we have the original one, as well as the model kit Kotobukiya kit that I did a review on a little while ago. So whether you're looking for a Mega Man for your collection, or you're looking for one specifically to go with your Marvel vs. Capcom setup, we're going to take a look at each figure, what it comes with, its articulation, and just how well it scales with the other figures. So stick around and we'll get right into it. So these are set out in, I believe, what is release order, and we're going to start with our D-Arts Mega Man. So starting with articulation, we don't exactly have thigh swivel. We kind of do, but I think that has more to do with how the joint is designed. As you can see, kind of like there. Otherwise, moving down, we have a 90-degree bend at the knee. We do not have any boot swivel. With our foot, the foot can come forward just a little bit, back just a little bit, and we do get a bit of pivot on there. At the waist, we have a bit of waist swivel. As far as ab crunch, we have a very tiny amount of ab crunch, if you would even consider it ab crunch. It does allow you to go back a little bit, which is actually not too bad. Our arm can come the whole way around. It does come out, and it sort of has bicep swivel because of the joint, similar to the thigh. However, we do have a swivel right here, which is nice. And then our hand, of course, will swivel like this. And because it's on a ball joint, it does kind of come down a little bit like that. The head itself is also on a ball, so you can kind of come left and right a little bit, but you can kind of go around the way you'd expect on a ball. And then as far as looking up, he kind of can't look up too much. You really kind of have to bend the whole body to really get a better looking up position. And that's D-Arts Mega Man. So as far as his accessories go, he does come with 2 additional heads, or rather 2 additional faces. So these are what the 3 different faces on this figure look like. He actually comes with 2 different busters. There is this one, and then the one that he's actually already wearing. There's not a ton of difference that I can see between the 2. So what you could do is you could actually put this side on this one, and you could have a dual buster if you really wanted to. So with both busters, they have the ability to remove this tip. And as you can see on this one is fully see-through. And I think the idea would be that it hasn't been fired yet. And then it comes with this extra one where it's kind of red in the center. And I don't know how well that comes off on camera, but that's definitely red in there. And this one is also red in the center. Otherwise, if you don't want the buster and you want the arm, he does come with an additional arm to swap that out with. And as you can see, he's got a fist here, a fist for the other hand, and then he's got 2 reaching hands. He also comes with this nice blast effect, so you would take off the tip of the buster, and then you would attach that, and then he'd be firing, and that's kind of cool. And finally, this is the only Mega Man that comes with 2 additional sidekicks. So we have the Metul, or Metul, I'm not really sure how to say that. There's no articulation in this figure at all. And then we have Rush. This is our only Rush in this lineup, and it's pretty cool. It actually articulates quite a bit more than I would have expected. So we have that, and that's true for both sides. You have kind of a joint pivot for both, and then even the foot has its own bit of articulation for both of them. The tail even articulates, the body does not, but then even our head is on a bit of a joint, and so it's pretty nice. Surprisingly, considering the age and all that kind of stuff, this is a nice looking figure for Rush specifically. However, even though he doesn't have any articulation, the one fun thing that he does have is the ability to take off the cap and lay it on the ground as if he's in invincible mode. Now, this one does have pegs in there, so you can't really put it on another character, but it's still a fun thing that this thing can do. The Metul is a nice one too. The paint job is pretty nice, although this one I think is a little bit dirty. This is obviously a used figure. The paint actually also came off. It was attached to one of the busters for too long, and so it got kind of damaged there. But that's okay. It's on the underside, so I'm not too worried about that. So this Mega Man is still kind of expensive. So you're still going to find him for about $100 or so on eBay. Next up, we have our 4-inch Nell or Sentinel. I'm not exactly sure what to call this, but this is our next Mega Man. And starting with the same articulation points, our leg can come up kind of like that. We can come out like that. We do have some thigh swivel. It's at an angle, which is interesting, but we do have it. No boot swivel, and our knee is actually a really nice full double jointed knee, full heel to butt or beyond. And then as far as our foot goes, we can come up, we can come quite a bit down, which is cool. And then we do have a nice amount of ankle pivot there. We have some waist swivel. For our ab crunch, we do have a decent amount of going forward and a okay amount going back. We do have some butterfly joints for the arms, it kind of looks like, even though it doesn't look like it seems to be going in very much, but it is going in some. And then otherwise we can come the whole way around as you'd expect. You do have the bicep swivel here. We do have a double jointed arm as well. So that's effectively fist to shoulder, which is nice. And so with our hand, because of how it attaches, it's just a peg in a hole. So it can only spin around like that. Like the other Mega Man on this list, he does come with an extra arm so that you can have both arms or Buster and arm, obviously. So as you can see, he's got the two fists, and then he's got two outreaching hands, just like our first one. This one also comes with an additional face, and so we have a smiling face and a serious face. This one also comes with a stand, as most of the Sentinel figures, as I understand it, do come with, and it's a pretty nice stand overall. These ones are also pretty hard to find at a reasonable price, and you can only find them for about $100+ on eBay. Next up is our Kotobukiya Mega Man, and I'm still leaving this one on the list, even though technically he's like Mega Man from Mega Man 11, and so you can see that we've got these like lines in the chest design like that, and that is specific to the newer design from that game. But I would say overall he still looks close enough like Mega Man that I'm totally fine with it. But as far as articulation goes, with our leg, we can come up, we can come out. We have a thigh swivel, we have boot swivel, we have a double jointed knee, we have heel to butt. With our foot, we can come forward that much, we can go back that much, and as far as our pivot goes, we have a really nice amount of ankle pivot as well. With our waist, we can definitely turn a bit, but as you can see, the model came apart. So you can turn some, and then with our ab crunch, we can come that much down, which is decent, and we can go that much back, or really not that very much back, like the other two. As far as our arm goes, we can come the whole way around, we can come out. We do have bicep swivel right here. However, this also can rotate on its own. This one gives you about 45-degree angle for the elbow. For our hands, we do get the whole way around, and we also get a little bit of extra articulation by this piece moving out, which is nice. I like that, actually. It also does get a little bit of back and forth because it's also on a ball. With our head, we can go side to side, we can come down, we can come up, and as far as looking up, that's about how much it looks up. So not a ton, but it looks like more than our other figure so far. Now, this is a kit that you have to build yourself, but what's nice is that it actually comes with quite a few accessories. So, like the others, we do have an alternate arm so that you don't have to use the Mega Buster the entire time. And as you can see, he's got a fist here. He has the matching fist to go with that. This one has a reaching hand, and of course it has a matching reaching hand. Then we have a pair of neutral hands, which is kind of nice to see. And then we've got a pair of kind of open hands. These would be good especially for putting onto the Buster as if he's holding onto it. Like with our D-Arts one, we do have an alternate tip. However, this one's actually different because both of these tips are exactly the same. The red part is actually part of the Buster itself, and when you pull that out, it'll look exactly like this one. We also get our only kind of civilian head with the hair, which is really nice. I like this sculpt a lot. Here are the two faces on these two heads. And here are 2 more faces. Besides that, he comes with this additional piece, which is for this. So this is a really nice effect piece because it's actually a 2-in-1 effect piece. So on the one hand, it's the blast being shot out of his Mega Buster. Or if you swap out the stand with the blast with this piece, then this can then attach to Mega Man as if he is doing his slide dash. So a really nice effect piece here. This Mega Man is still available to purchase now for about 70 to 80 bucks. And I will have links for everything in the description for anything that I can find. Now we have our Jada figure. And with our Jada figure, as far as articulation goes, we can come up, we can come out. We have thigh swivel, but it's an angled thigh swivel again. We have some boot swivel. We have a 90-degree knee. With our foot, we can come up a little bit. We can go back a good amount. And then as far as our pivot, we have some pivot. We have a bit of waist swivel. Actually, we have complete waist swivel, which is cool. We have an okay amount of ab crunch. Surprisingly, he can go back quite a bit. Our arm comes the whole way around. It comes out. We don't have a bicep swivel up here. However, the forearm can spin around. He can go at about a 90-degree angle for the elbow. Our fist spins, and it is on a joint, but it doesn't really move a ton when you're going for that joint. As far as his Buster arm goes, we do have the alternate arm so that he can be 2-armed or 2-handed. You can see that both of these are fists, and then we've got 2 additional different hands actually. This one is an open reaching hand, and then this one is that kind of open holding hand, again with the holding of the Buster. We also get the stand, and the point of the stand is not to hold the figure, but actually to hold his effect piece. So that's how that would look. And this is our only Mega Man with a whole second head for this second face sculpt. This one you can still find at retail for $20. And finally, our MDLX from ThreeZero. So at our legs, we can come out like that. We can come over that way that much. We do have thigh swivel. It's also kind of at an angle, so you don't get to go the whole way around. Our boot is a double jointed one, which is nice to have. Our foot goes that much forward, that much back, and as far as our pivot goes, we have a decent amount of pivot. For our waist, we do have the swivel, which is nice. Ab crunch, not a ton. However, he goes back a pretty decent amount. Now, as far as arm articulation, we can come out. We can come the whole way around. It is on a bit of a butterfly joint too, so you get kind of back and forth like that, which is nice. We do have some bicep swivel right there, which is nice. We have no forearm swivel, not that you necessarily need it, but it kind of looks like there might be here. But all of these lines are because of our elbow articulation. With that articulation, you get about a 45-degree elbow, which is nice. So technically 2 joints in there, but that's still all that it'll bend. And then with our hand, we can spin all the way around, of course. And you can also bend it down and up a bit. It is on a ball, and it's a little hard to move, but it's definitely very possible. So quite a bit of arm articulation there, which is pretty nice. For our head, we apparently actually have like neck and head articulation. Although the neck is on a joint as well as the head being on a ball joint. So you actually get quite a bit of looking down, which is really impressive. The head can go side to side, and we can come up like that, which is quite a lot. The articulation on this is surprisingly really nice. Also, what's really nice about this figure over the others is the heft of the boots. I think this is actually die cast. I think the middle part here may also be die cast. Hard to tell. But the boots definitely feel nice and heavy. As far as accessories go for him, we do have that alt arm that they all have. You can see he's got the 2 fists, and he also has the 2 open hands. We get another blast effect. This one's nice. This one will attach to his buster the same way that we have over on the original D-Arts one. This is our first energy tank of these figures, which is fun to have. And finally, his alt face. Now, this Mega Man is still very, very new, and you can still even find it for pre-order, and it retails for about $40. So now we need to check on heights. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you, this is our Jada Ryu. We have Marvel Legends Iron Man. I believe this is the retro Iron Man. That comes with the mullet haircut alternate head. And then we have Major Villain Onslaught. The internet says that Mega Man is 4.4 feet tall. So in that situation, then he should also be about 4.4 inches. So Iron Man is actually taller than 6 inches. Our Ryu is also just a little bit taller than 6 inches. Unless you assume that his hair is poofy, then he could easily be 6 inches or 6 foot. But as you can see, our 4-inch line is here. And so we're going to say around the abdomen is where Mega Man should be standing when next to these other characters. So first up is our D-Arts Mega Man. And that is pretty darn close. That's a great scale. Next up is our 4-inch Nell Mega Man. And considering that the 4-inch is part of the name or type, whatever, you can see that this actually lines up reasonably well. This one's a little bit taller, which I think it should be a little bit taller, so that works out better for the D-Arts. Next up is our Kotobukiya. And they don't say that this is supposed to be in scale with anything, but I just want you guys to see. And in fact, we'll put him over here since he's so much taller, obviously. So not necessarily a great height in terms of like official heights for characters. Here is our Jada Toys Mega Man, and you can see he is quite a bit taller than our other two over here, but still falls within that kind of abdomen area that we selected for our height check. And finally, we have our newest figure. This is the MDLX from ThreeZero. And I'm going to just put him here. And so he appears to be the same height as our 4-inch Nell over here. Our D-Arts taking the next height. Jada taking the second place. And then our Kotobukiya being the tallest of all of these figures. Now, personally, if you're talking a Marvel vs. Capcom Mega Man, I think all three of these work out pretty well. I'd be torn between these two specifically of the D-Arts and the 4-inch Nell. I think the 4-inch Nell has the best articulation of these figures, pretty much in line with the model kit articulation, which is definitely the best. But I think the colors of the D-Art is much better than all of them, and I think match better to what my brain thinks of as Mega Man. Now, that's not to say the Jada Mega Man isn't a good one. This one is actually more like replicating the original first Mega Man in Mega Man 1, and I think they do a really wonderful job there. But in terms of our Marvel vs. Capcom style look, he kind of loses this one for sure. I still really like the head and the face sculpts of the Kotobukiya the best. I think they're the most anime-like in a good way, and I like that. So in the end, you got to ask yourself which one that you're gonna get, and I think it's a toss-up between these two specifically. They're both approximately the same price, so if $100 is too much for your budget, then I'd say the MDLX makes a really, really good runner-up between scaling, accessories, articulation, and all that. Now, for me, in terms of these two, I think I would probably end up picking the D-Arts one overall because of Rush. Rush is a really cool figure, and he always is part of Mega Man's intro movement sequence thing. It also comes with the med tool. It's got a good blast effect. The alt faces are good. Articulation is definitely not as good as the 4-inch Nell, so if you're more into doing lots of posing for photos and stuff, then the 4-inch Nell might end up being the better one for you. I also think that the face sculpts are actually really nice on this one too. But that articulation is really killer on this one, and the colors are actually also really nice. I like how much both blues pop on this one. Let me know which one is your favorite in the comments below, and otherwise you should check out one of my other showdown videos right here.